Imagine waking up one day to find your land overrun by creatures that were never supposed to be there. In just 7 years, 24 rabbits in Barwon Park, Australia, multiplied into over 14,000. Farmers were outraged as their crops were devoured and their land was overtaken. This is just one example of the devastation caused by invasive species, animals and plants that have spread beyond their native habitats, often due to human activity. Many of these invaders have origins in the United States, and their impact is nothing short of disastrous. This led me on a journey to uncover the most destructive, bizarre, and unstoppable invasive species on the planet. Join me as we explore these relentless invaders. Our journey begins in the southern United States, where a new kind of menace has taken root. The feral hog, a descendant of domesticated pigs brought over centuries ago, now roams wild across the continent, with razor-sharp tusks and a ravenous appetite. They're transforming landscapes and decimating ecosystems. Picture this. You're a farmer, waking up to find your fields, once lush with crops, now resembling a battlefield. The ground is churned up, roots exposed, and the fruits of your labor lie scattered and ruined. This is the daily reality for many living in the path of the feral hog. Their feeding habits are as impressive as they are destructive. They're not picky eaters, consuming everything from nuts and berries to small animals and even carrion. Their rooting behavior leaves a trail of destruction, disrupting delicate plant life and accelerating soil erosion. Feral hogs compete with native wildlife for resources, often preying on vulnerable species and disrupting the delicate balance of the ecosystem. They carry diseases that can spread to livestock and even humans, posing a serious threat to public health. Efforts to control these invaders are ongoing, but the hogs are winning. Their relentless advance serves as a stark reminder of the unintended consequences of introducing species into new environments. From the fields of America, we journey across the oceans to witness the impact of another invasive species, the ubiquitous rat. These cunning creatures, masters of adaptation, have followed humanity's footsteps to every corner of the globe, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Their journey began centuries ago, stowing away on ships laden with goods. With their remarkable ability to reproduce, rats quickly established themselves, their numbers exploding in the absence of natural predators. Their presence is felt most keenly in urban areas, where they thrive amidst the abundance of food and shelter. They gnaw through electrical wires, causing fires and blackouts. They contaminate food supplies, spreading diseases and posing a serious risk to public health. On remote islands, they've decimated native bird populations, their insatiable appetites driving some species to the brink of extinction. Despite our best efforts to control them, rats persist, their resilience and adaptability proving a constant challenge. The story of the rat is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the far-reaching consequences of our actions. Our next encounter takes us to islands scattered across the globe where a seemingly innocuous creature has emerged as a formidable predator. The feral cat, a descendant of domesticated felines, now roams free in these fragile ecosystems, posing a grave threat to native wildlife. Introduced to control rodent populations, they quickly adapt to their new surroundings, their predatory instincts taking over. On islands where evolution has often favored specialization, native species have evolved in the absence of mammalian predators. This makes them particularly vulnerable to the stealthy hunting techniques of the feral cat. Birds nesting on the ground, flightless insects and small mammals all fall prey to these silent stalkers. Entire species have been driven to extinction, their evolutionary history wiped out in a matter of decades. Efforts to control feral cat populations are fraught with challenges. Trapping and removal programs are often met with resistance from cat lovers who view these animals as companions rather than threats. The story of the feral cat highlights the unintended consequences of introducing predators into new environments. Our journey now takes us to the heart of the United States, where a battle is being waged against an aquatic invader that threatens the very lifeblood of the region. The Asian carp, a group of several species, has infiltrated the Mississippi River and its tributaries. Introduced decades ago for their potential in aquaculture, these fish have escaped confinement, their numbers exploding in the absence of natural predators. Imagine a river teeming with life, its waters churning with the movement of countless fish. Now picture that same river, dominated by a single species, their silvery bodies leaping from the water in a mesmerizing yet unsettling display. They consume vast quantities of plankton, the foundation of the aquatic food web, depriving native fish and other organisms of essential nutrients. Their sheer numbers disrupt spawning grounds, outcompeting native species for resources and altering the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Efforts to control their spread have been extensive and costly. Millions of dollars have been spent on barriers and fishing programs, but the carp's resilience and adaptability have made them a formidable adversary. The story of the Asian carp serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our waterways and the far-reaching consequences of introducing non-native species. Our exploration of invasive species takes us to the vibrant coral reefs of the Atlantic Ocean, where a beautiful yet deadly invader has taken hold. The lionfish, with its striking appearance and venomous spines, has become a symbol of the destructive potential of invasive species. Native to the Indo-Pacific region, the lionfish's journey to the Atlantic began in the home aquarium trade. Released or escaped pets found themselves in a new world, their striking appearance masking a voracious appetite and a remarkable ability to reproduce. Imagine diving amidst a coral reef, its vibrant colors and diverse life a testament to the wonders of the underwater world. Now, picture that same reef, stripped bare, its once abundant fish populations decimated, leaving behind an eerie silence. Lacking natural predators in their new environment, lionfish populations have exploded, their numbers overwhelming native fish species. Their feeding strategy is as efficient as it is devastating. Native fish populations have plummeted, with some species experiencing declines of up to 90%. Efforts to control lionfish populations are ongoing, with divers and fishermen encouraged to remove them whenever possible. From the depths of the ocean, we emerge onto land, our journey taking us to the southeastern United States, where a silent invader has been steadily engulfing the landscape. Kudzu, a fast-growing vine with an insatiable appetite for sunlight, has earned the ominous nickname the vine that ate the South. Introduced from Asia in the late 19th century as an ornamental plant and later promoted for erosion control, kudzu quickly escaped cultivation. Imagine driving along a country road, the landscape a tapestry of green fields and forests. Now picture that same landscape transformed into a sea of green, with trees and buildings swallowed whole by a relentless tide of vines. Kudzu's growth is nothing short of astonishing. It can grow up to a foot per day, its vines reaching lengths of over 100 feet. It climbs over trees, telephone poles, and even buildings, blocking out sunlight and smothering everything beneath its dense canopy. Native plant species are shaded out, their growth stunted by the lack of sunlight. Efforts to control kudzu are ongoing, with herbicides, grazing animals, and even controlled burns employed to combat its spread. Our exploration of invasive species now takes us beneath the surface of freshwater ecosystems, where a silent invader is quietly choking the life out of lakes, rivers, and ponds. Hydrilla, an aquatic plant with an insatiable thirst for sunlight and nutrients, is wreaking havoc on waterways around the world. Native to Asia, Hydrilla's journey to new waters began innocently enough, its introduction often attributed to the aquarium trade. Unwanted plants discarded into waterways found themselves in a new world, their adaptability and rapid growth rate allowing them to quickly outcompete native species. Imagine paddling along a tranquil lake, its surface sparkling in the sunlight, its depths teeming with fish and other aquatic life. Now picture that same lake, its surface choked with a thick mat of vegetation, its waters murky and devoid of life. Hydrilla's growth is nothing short of explosive. It can grow up to an inch per day, forming dense mats that cover the surface of the water, blocking sunlight from reaching the depths below. This shading effect has a devastating impact on native plant life, depriving them of the sunlight they need for photosynthesis. Efforts to control hydrilla are ongoing, with herbicides, mechanical harvesting, and even the introduction of specialized insects employed to combat its spread. Our journey now takes us to the depths of lakes and rivers, where an invasion of microscopic proportions is causing problems of immense scale. Zebra mussels, tiny freshwater mollusks with a striking striped pattern, have become a global menace, their presence disrupting ecosystems, clogging waterways, and costing billions of dollars in damage. Native to the Caspian Sea region, zebra mussels made their way to new waters by hitching rides on ships. Their microscopic larvae, transported in ballast water, unwittingly carried across oceans, they found themselves in new environments, their remarkable adaptability and rapid reproductive rate allowing them to quickly establish themselves. Imagine a lake bed, once home to a diverse community of organisms, now covered in a thick carpet of tiny striped shells. Zebra mussels are filter feeders, drawing in water and extracting microscopic algae and other particles for food. While this feeding behavior might seem beneficial, their immense numbers and efficiency as filter feeders have unintended consequences. They can filter vast quantities of water, removing plankton that serves as the base of the food chain, depriving native fish and other organisms of essential nutrients. Zebra mussels are notorious for their ability to attach themselves to hard surfaces, including rocks, boats, and even the shells of native mussels. Their dense clusters can clog water intake pipes, disrupting industrial operations and municipal water supplies, costing billions of dollars in maintenance and repairs. Our final journey takes us to the vast, arid landscapes of Australia, where a seemingly innocuous creature, the rabbit, has become a symbol of the devastating impact of invasive species. Introduced in the 19th century for hunting, rabbits quickly adapted to their new environment, their numbers exploding in the absence of natural predators. Imagine a landscape once teeming with native wildlife, its grasslands supporting a rich diversity of plants and animals. Now picture that same landscape, stripped bare, the soil eroded, and the vegetation decimated by millions of hungry mouths. Rabbits, with their high reproductive rate and ability to thrive in a variety of habitats, quickly spread across the continent, their numbers reaching plague proportions. They outcompeted native wildlife for food and shelter, their grazing habits transforming vast areas of grassland into barren wastelands. Native plant species disappeared, unable to withstand the constant grazing pressure. Soil erosion increased as the protective cover of vegetation was removed, leading to desertification and the loss of fertile land. Desperate to control the rabbit population, the Australian government implemented a series of measures, including the introduction of the myxoma virus, a disease fatal to rabbits. The story of the rabbit invasion in Australia stands as a stark reminder of the delicate balance of nature and the unintended consequences of human actions. From massive pigs to tiny mussels, invasive species have reshaped landscapes, devastated ecosystems, and cost billions of dollars in damages. Despite countless efforts to control them, many of these invaders continue to thrive, outpacing human attempts at eradication. So what's the solution? Prevention is key. Once an invasive species establishes itself, the battle to control it becomes nearly impossible. But as history has shown, when humans interfere with nature, the consequences are often more disastrous than we ever imagined. The introduction of a single species, whether intentional or accidental, can have ripple effects throughout an ecosystem, disrupting delicate balances that have evolved over millennia. What do you think? Should we go to extreme lengths to control these species, or is it a battle we are doomed to lose? The answer, as with most things in nature, is complex. It requires a multifaceted approach, combining scientific research, international cooperation, and, perhaps most importantly, a fundamental shift in our relationship with the natural world. The future of our ecosystems depends on the choices we make today.